apparently we're open all hours of the night. So because apparently we're going to be recording next week at 9 p.m. So
I'm gonna have to take a nap between work and.
dude, you're not joking.
I don't go to bed till midnight anyway, so I'm good.
I normally don't.
I usually go to bed at 9. That's when I go to sleep.
I get up at 4, so 9 is a good time to go
Yeah,
to sleep.
Yeah,
that's
same
about
here.
what time I get up. So I was like,
Yeah,
Right.
but you stay up late though.
I do. Well, it depends. Like yesterday, a guy at the church texted me. They just started a softball tournament. He said, "Hey man, you want to play softball at a game for us tonight?" I was like, "Okay, what time?" He said, 8:30 p.m. I was like, "It starts at 8:30?"
What? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
I said, "What are y'all trying to do on a Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m.?"
I could see if it was like a Friday night league or something
Yeah.
where they have like a 9 o'clock game or whatever, but Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
On a
on a Tuesday, bro, with no notice.
yeah,
Just call me, I do it.
club's going up.
Not to
On a
mention,
Tuesday.
I know I've got a glove. I just don't know where it is. So, and I also, back to like we were talking earlier,
You don't need a glove.
I don't remember the last time I sprinted.
Yeah,
Like, even
Watch
when,
those Achilles.
no.
I'd like to see you sprint.
See, because even whenever we were at the beach, like our tent blew over and we were a good ways down, and I thought, I'm not sprinting. But there's another guy chasing our tent down. So I was like, I can't walk. So I just kind of casually jogged. I was like, I'm not sprinting. There's no way. But I wanted to look concerned.
Yeah,
I wasn't. But I would have let that thing blow away before I sprinted after it.
I told you about the other. It's been a couple of months ago now. My sister's oldest girl was wanting to race me to something or another, and I was like, whatever. I was like, there's no way you can win. And she took. I gave her too much of a head start. I mean, you know, because I was used to being able to easily overtake her, you know, but she's 11 now. And she's a little faster than she was when she was like 9, you know.
A little.
And yeah, so I gave her too much of a head start, and I really had to push it to beat her. And I thought, man, when was the last time that I really had to run this hard, you know, like. And I can't think of like when it was. And I thought, I need to sprint more.
No, you don't.
I was about to say, I've never thought that.
I don't know, because I mean, I would hate to lose the ability to do it.
No.
You've seen that video, that dude, he's like directing traffic or whatever, and that truck slides through
Yeah.
the intersection, and he like, ba-loop-de-doop,
Yep.
de-doop-de-doop, out of the way. And you're like, I would hate to think that I was running for my life, and that's as fast as I could move.
Yep.
But
I don't know. I'm okay with that. Whenever I was talking to somebody at work after
you
they
just get hit by the
yeah
truck.
after they texted me yesterday about that game, I was talking to a guy at work, and I was saying, dude, I've not sprinted, and I'm not going to. He said, well, if you play, what are you going to do? I was like, if it's not a home run, I'm going to go sit back down. Like, hit a home run, walk the bases, or if I hit it and it's not, I'm just going to go sit back down.
Jog.
Count it out. Yeah, count me out, boys. That's all I got.
What about when you're fielding? Are you going to run after one to catch it?
I'm going to be a catcher. It's slow
That's
pitch
a catcher.
softball. Yeah. Slow pitch softball. I shouldn't be doing a lot as a catcher.
My sister and brother-in-law picked up a team about 7 years ago and asked me
Like
to
he
play.
picked up the whole team at one time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they
We
asked
need
me-
him on the
Pretty
podcast.
They asked me to play anyways, and I hadn't played in 15 years. And driving home after the first game, I had to stop on the way home and pull off on the side of the road and get out because my leg was cramping so bad. I was in
You had a
tears.
cramp? I've never known Alan to have a cramp. Backstory, Alan is the first person I know to have a taint cramp. Wow.
Oh, I was
I
like,
can't.
the screen went black for a second. I was like, it was too much for Luke.
Yep. That was it.
He was like, tank cramp, I'm out.
Did not sign up for this.
I was trying to move my little like my view over, and it like swiped over and turned the camera off.
I just thought, I was like, well, that's the quickest we've run
Yep.
guest off.
Yeah, we don't even have Dave for that anymore.
Yeah. I was like, guests usually last through like 3/4 of the podcast.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, we used to sit on couches and then we made these thrones. And sometimes I wish we were still on couches.
I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the throne now.
I like the look of the throne. You ever tried to move stuff around in this room?
I don't feel like I'm podcasting unless I'm sitting here now.
I'll agree with that. We're live.
Oh no.
Welcome to the Iron Palace Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Iron Palace Podcast, the world's most anabolic podcast that has more juice than a farmer's market and more flex than a mirror on chest day. It's a lot of flex, boys.
Yeah. More flex than a mirror in Kyle's room.
Don't get me started. We have a great guest. I don't need to spend the entire episode ranting about how Kyle's Instagram gives me the ick. Speaking of our great guest,
Yeah.
we'll just jump into that real quick.
Yeah. Let's introduce him.
This man can not only squeeze water from a rock, he can design an apparatus to help you train to do the same. After a win in the U.S. Grip Nationals, he sets his sights on making implements in an attempt to bring forth someone that can challenge him. Everyone, welcome to the throne room, Lucas Raymond.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I wasn't expecting that, but
He's sitting there
I'll
like
take it.
he's sitting there like accurate.
Was no lie. Yeah, the intros are easy to write whenever you just say true things.
Yeah. When you have a guest that does cool stuff,
Yep.
it's easy.
So my
Appreciate
icebreaker.
you guys having me on.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It's usually just me and Holland. So
He made that sound like we were so lonely.
I mean, sometimes. No, but thanks for coming on. So to get things started, I have a great icebreaker I think you guys are going to love. It's, would you rather fight a gorilla once a year and it knows when, but not you, or have a snail that kills you instantly follow you forever, but it's very, very slow?
Oh, I'm going with the snail.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the snail.
I think the gorilla sneaking up on you randomly would pretty much
Yeah.
ruin my day.
I mean,
It's
like, like I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on my chances against the gorilla, even if I'm ready for it. But
Yeah.
especially if it's a surprise.
This is a surprise gorilla
yeah.
attack.
Yeah, there's no shot.
I think that could be fun though.
It could be fun.
You would say that, Alan. I think it'd be zero fun.
But I'd rather fight a gorilla than a chimp.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
yeah, because
I feel like you'd suffer more with a chimp because he'd like bite your hands off and
Okay,
rip
yeah.
your face off, whereas
Yeah.
the gorilla would just kill you.
Yeah, the gorilla, it's over quick. Just
gorilla might just beat you to death. That's
might,
fine.
might just beat you to death.
Chimpanzee will chew your face off.
Yeah, and like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I want to keep all my appendages, even in death.
Makes the casket easier.
Yeah.
So, Alan, what are you picking?
I picked the gorilla.
Yeah, somehow I knew you'd pick the gorilla.
I mean, I feel like I could always stay ahead of the snail, though.
I feel like you could get like a bubble. For like when you sleep.
Yeah, or just put some salt around your.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, can you kill the
That's
snail?
right. I believe the snail is unkillable.
But the salt would definitely be a deterrent, maybe.
Sure.
Sure.
He could climb up the wall and then drop from the ceiling
Yeah.
Hence the bubble.
onto you. So
See, I think the bubble's the right way to go here.
Mission Impossible snail.
that's right.
That'd be terrifying. You'd
Yeah.
wake up just in time to see it.
Can the snail swim?
I don't know if snails swim or not.
I mean, can this one swim?
Now that we're talking about this, I don't really know a lot about snails.
And my knowledge of snails is lacking.
Yeah, I never really.
I mean, if you've seen the movie Turbo, I mean, you
Okay.
never know. You could get a super speed shell, then we're all screwed.
Yeah, and then
You didn't say nothing about upgrading to faster snails.
Maybe I'm going to fight the gorilla.
Yeah, there we go.
just because of the unknown.
Yeah, Alan and I are gonna fight the gorilla.
I'm sticking with the snail, but I'm gonna find a snail-proof bubble to sleep in or something.
I could just see it on the outside of the bubble, like
Just snail trailing across the top of the bubble.
it's like.
That would be kind of terrifying. An unkillable snail that's just always around. And if it touches you, you're dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's enough about snails, I guess.
Let's talk about grip stuff.
Yeah, grip. That's like my favorite thing to talk about.
Yeah.
I wish someone knew something about it.
If we had a guest that knew anything about grip,
That'd be cool.
that would be.
Because one thing I didn't mention in the introduction is that you own Arm Assassin, which is pretty cool. So how did you start?
Yeah.
Did you start Arm Assassin like after competing for a while, or like how did that come about?
So it actually started after I started Grip. What was it? 2012. Jed introduced me to Grip Sport, and then in 2015, end of 15, 16, I started arm wrestling, and arm wrestling is what started my business. So it started with just a couple arm wrestling handles, a table that I kind of built for myself with help of a friend, and then I would take a couple handles to a tournament, try to sell them just to basically pay for like entry fees, gas, hotel, just to basically pay for my hobby. And friends of friends wanted stuff, and I started adding to it, and then it just grew kind of outrageously. And over the first 3 years, it was part-time, and then as of 2018, I went full-time.
Dang,
That's awesome.
that is super cool.
Yep, left the healthcare industry. I'm still a licensed physical therapist, but I haven't practiced since January of 2020.
Now, did you have a background in welding and stuff? I handled a lot of your equipment up there when I was up there, so I didn't know.
Zero. I taught myself how to weld in 2016.
That's pretty.
Dang,
Yeah, so like I said, I wasn't intending to sell stuff. I was intending to make stuff for me and a couple buddies is really all it was. So I wasn't planning on sending stuff all over the world and having 200 plus items on a website. Never would have envisioned that. So
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you make / or sell?
I mean, the whole napalm system, the interchangeable handles with like the multiple pieces of equipment is kind of, it's just fun because then I can think of different pieces of equipment to adopt modular handles for. And I love being able to use it. You get one. I mean, the Napalm Nightmare was the original piece of equipment. Jed actually invented that, and had Ryan Pitts from Stronger Grip used to make it. It was more PVC than it was metal, and then he had me redesign it and start making it in the 2 3/8. It was a two-handed double overhand rolling thunder. That was the idea of it. And then I said, why don't we make it so you can change the handles out and put different sizes? And that started that whole system that's now 15 different handles and roughly 15 or 16 different pieces of equipment that those handles would go on.
We got to get one.
Does that include
Yeah,
that
oh, yeah.
hinged barbell for like curls and stuff? Is that part of that system?
Yeah, so there is a Napalm version of the hinge. Yeah, there's a solid version and also the Napalm
I
version.
was watching a video you was demonstrating. That thing looks pretty intense.
That's a completely different feel if you're not used to something like that. Like people go to grab it and I was like, just try to hold the handles together and it instantly just peels their hands apart.
Well, I know by looking at these guns, it looks like I do a lot of curls, but I don't.
I prefer it more for applying like pronation and internal rotation. So it's a lot more of a chest forearm movement than it is a true, I mean, yeah, you're still in a hammer curl position, but
That does make a lot of sense. It seems like it has a lot of carryover to stones, which is like our primary.
yeah.
I mean, that's essentially the same motion you're doing. Just
Yeah, you're going to apply wrist flexion
yep.
and then like that internal rotation chest press type of movement. It was created for like arm wrestling is kind of my idea, but it could definitely be used for something like that, stones. And
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already intrigued. But
I know, like when you told me that he was going to be on, I was like, I just pulled up their site just to flip through it again, and I was like, oh, I'd like to have this. We'd like to have this. We need to. I was like, we
Yeah.
need to do a video with this. Like, there's
I need to bring that inch trainer to the gym over there.
yeah.
I've used it at the house a few times. I like it.
Alan's really good at saying, I have this at the house. I need to bring it to the gym, and then never brings it to the gym.
never shows up.
Yeah, like he'll show up at the gym like, I forgot it. Thanks.
Yeah, he keeps his toys to himself.
You need one at the gym and one at his house. You
See?
just have to get a second one, I
You
guess.
can buy
Yeah.
one.
I bought enough stuff. But
Yeah, that inch trainer is cool. I mean, it's a cool concept that you did there with that trainer. I think that was a cool way to figure out a way to train it without having 170-pound actual
Yeah.
dumbbell.
so we're in process of making a video right now comparing no chalk or anything to chalk and chalkless to see like how, like, for one, I keep hearing a lot of mixed reviews on chalkless. So I want to know, is it as good as they say? And also, how much does chalk actually help? So right now, our plan is double overhand axle bar. Do you have any recommendations for anything else that we should add to that test?
So a rolling handler like a thick bar, chalk is going to be less of an issue than something like a friction lift, like a pinch or a vertical bar. For axle, chalkless might work. It doesn't work for me. My hands are very sweaty. So I have to like apply it every 5 seconds or else it'll just continue to sweat through. Whereas chalk eventually will absorb enough and my hands will stop sweating. But I would never use chalkless ever again in my life if I had the choice. If you want my opinion.
Wow.
That's my opinion.
See,
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the company and what they're doing. I just prefer
Yeah.
chalk.
yeah, 'cause see, that's why we wanted
But
to
we
try
also
this.
go to the point. We go to the point that we try different chalks. So a lot of your basic gym chalks have like additives in them, like a silica-based additive to keep it so that it doesn't get like moisture.
Mhm.
But a lot of the higher end chalks, like Friction Labs, Sornex, Mighty Mitts, there's a few other brands that have it. They're without those additives, so it's just chalk. And those are the main two brands that I prefer for all of grip is either Friction Labs or the Mighty Mitts chalk from Sornex.
See, it's funny you say that because we were talking while we started with no chalk or no anything. We cleaned the axle bar, washed our hands. We made sure there was nothing. And then we started talking. I was like, I don't know any brand of chalk really. I just use whatever it seems to be around.
Mhm.
So then we started talking. I was like, I know Friction Labs is really the only one I know. So I guess that answers that. I guess we're going to have to buy some of that.
Yeah.
Make sure we're trying it.
So you would think,
I sell it on the website. I can send you guys a bag of it. That'll be a gift to the podcast. My donation.
sweet.
Even better.
So you're talking about the bare. Once you get down to bare steel and that whole cleaned hands, there's a short period where a clean hand and a bare steel bar, it'll actually feel really good. Before your hand gets the chance to build up any sort of sweat or like natural oils in your fingers, that bare bar will feel actually pretty decent. And then as you get warmed up, it generally will lose that feel.
Mhm.
But like I said, the thick bar, it's a less of an issue than if you're trying to like pinch plates or something like that.
So
Then the chalking is way more important.
So with adding we have a Saxon bar there. Would that be a better
Yeah.
test?
Okay.
Yeah, as far as chalk, yeah. I mean, I would say do multiple things. I would say test it across a thick bar, a pinch, a vertical bar. Let's just see how they all feel because everyone's a little bit different. Like I said, some people's hands are naturally really dry,
Mine are.
and that's gonna feel way different than someone like me whose hands are naturally very sweaty.
Because we had talked about doing the Saxon bar and the double overhand, but we didn't know if, since they're both a deadlift variation, if that's going to hinder any of the data or not. So we'll just add it in and find out.
No, most of the time the Saxon bar is going to be light enough weight that you, as far as deadlifting, you're not going to have any problems with that as far as fatigue.
I remember the first time I played with a Saxon bar. It was a really humbling experience because
Yes.
I had used an axle bar before, and I was thinking, well, it'll be similar. No, the weights that you do on a Saxon bar are not
even
similar.
in the ballpark.
Yeah,
Because
that's a humbling bar.
Holland and his nephew's the one that got me into grip, and it was only because we had an axle bar. So then they said, try this double overhand axle bar. I was like, okay. So I forget what I pulled the first time. I was like, this isn't bad. I was like, okay, so I'm okay at grip. And then they came up with a Saxon bar. I was like, boys, I killed the axle bar. I'm going to kill the Saxon bar. Could not have been more wrong. I was way off on that.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, the Saxon bar is humbling.
And then Holland made one.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, he made a Saxon bar, and it's worse.
Yeah, I painted it, and the paint was really slick.
Like a gloss.
Yeah.
That can get real interesting with a gloss paint because that chalk doesn't want to stick for shit.
It didn't.
Yeah. It's several years old now, so it's a little better. But man, when it was shiny, man, that thing was hard to hold.
It just takes work to try to get a gloss item to get chalk to hold. And a lot of times it won't stay. Like you chalk it, and as you something slips, the chalk comes off your thumb side, and then you got to re-chalk it versus something with like a texture type paint to it.
Yeah.
See, this is like whenever I start talking to people who are really into the grip world is where I realize I don't know a lot about grip. Like I don't really ever put a lot of thought into it.
You're like, I like grip. I just don't know anything about it.
It's just another one of those things that if I focused on it, I could probably be okay.
Yeah.
But I just don't.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Inch Dumbbell.
For sure.
But
And so like something like I mean you're tall, you probably have fairly large hands. So
Yeah.
naturally you're gonna get a better wrap on like a thick bar versus someone that has a smaller hand. But when it comes to pinch, your thumb is the weakest part of your pinch. So if you don't train a lot of thumb, then that's where it's gonna hurt you. So that's arm wrestlers. You'll find a lot of arm wrestlers that can lift a inch dumbbell, either thumbed or thumbless, but then they can't lift a 50-pound blob. Like, and it took me 4 years after lifting a blob to lift an inch dumbbell.
so what did you like about arm wrestling? Because I see it getting more popular now. I don't really know why, but that or it's just being shown more. I don't know if it's actually getting more popular or just being shown more, but I don't know. Arm wrestling's always been kind of terrifying to me.
So, I mean, I come from the school table, bar room kind of background. That's where my life of arm wrestling started, was with a couple buddies. My first arm wrestling tournament was about 3 hours from my house, and I saw it advertised on Facebook. And another one of my buddies, he was a gas guy. He lived here for a few years. He's from Missouri now. He's back in Missouri now, but he had done 2 tournaments when he was back home. And I just asked him, I said, hey, do you want to go to an arm wrestling tournament with me? I had never even seen a table in person, never trained, never done anything. I just said, screw it, I'm going to go to this contest. And I did read a book. It's called Strong Arm Tactics by James Retorides, who is a former arm wrestler that's now a grip guy, which is kind of funny. So, I mean, just talking about like basic techniques. It's like a 40-page book. It's free on Amazon. And I just went through it, and I was mainly focused on just safety. Like the biggest thing is like when you're pulling, to keep your eyes on your hand so that you're not trying to get into this like break arm position where you're, and that was my goal. I was like, I'm going to go pull and just try to stay safe and try to stay in a good position and not get hurt. And ended up doing very well. Won the amateur class, took second in the pro class at that first tournament, right-handed.
Dang.
And then I went to 5 or 6 more tournaments that year, won those as an amateur, went to Las Vegas, won the WAL amateur title. And then I had to switch into the pro class, and I mean, I did all right, but I wasn't training arm wrestling. I was
Mhm.
training grip and then doing arm wrestling. So it just got to the point where I just didn't have time to do both. And as you're pulling higher level athletes, the injury risk can get higher.
Mhm.
Mainly the soreness was getting worse. And then trying to do grip at the same time was it just wasn't happening. So
Yeah, doing both
I just
seems like
decided,
torture.
yeah, there's very few people that can do both successfully. Eric Hussein was doing both for a while, but he's now switched to just grip.
Mhm.
Uh, it's just arm wrestling so hard on the joints in the body.
Yeah, I'd always heard that, and I've seen all the videos of people, snapping their arm, and then his nephew was showing me side pressure on a cable machine. He was like, "Let's see what you can do," and then I like tweaked my elbow, and I was like, "That's it. We're not doing this anymore."
Those torsional
Yeah.
breaks too are gnarly.
Well, because I didn't know what I was doing. I mean,
Yeah.
he'd been doing some research, but he just started too. So I mean, it was just neither one of us knew what was going on. And I ended up in physical therapy.
Yeah. And then in 2021, I did the Arnold Classic grip contest. Or was it 22? I don't know, 21 or 22. 21. And so I did the contest, and then afterwards I went over to the arm wrestling table, just did some light after pulling, and I actually I had a grade 2 tear in my left elbow and my UCL. So I'm like, we weren't even moving. We were literally sitting in the middle of the table, just kind of holding, and then I just felt I'll pop in my inner elbow, and it's just like, well, I know exactly what that was, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I'm done arm wrestling left-handed forever.
I don't do anything left-handed, so
Well, I'm actually left-handed, so like I weld left-handed, I
okay.
write left-handed, eat
That makes more
left-handed.
sense.
So like I can't risk. I mean, I can weld right-handed if I have to, but my whole table is set up to be a left-handed welder, left-hand grind, and all that stuff. So it's like I can't risk having a severe injury to my left arm.
That's true.
I can't really risk having an injury to both arms, either arm, but
You and Alan would get along great. He's the only left-handed welder I know. Now I know two.
that's right. Even though my right arm is way stronger when it comes to basically everything, grip and arm wrestling.
My left arm is good at. Actually, I take that back.
Yeah.
Because my joke has always been my left arm is just here for looks. That it's just so I look symmetrical. Other than that, it doesn't do anything. But for some reason, it is stronger in grip, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's definitely not.
It's weird. Like endurance wise, my left is better on like a gripper hold.
Mhm.
And I think that's just because I running a grinder, running a wire wheel, welding all day. Like it just has way more work throughout every day
That makes
as
sense.
far as like muscular endurance
Mhm.
than my right side. But a lot of my lifts are 10 to 15% difference.
Wow.
It's like a pretty significant margin.
So have you had any major injuries or anything other than that one tear at the Arnold?
Finger injuries. I've tore 3 pulleys, and then I 2 of them were moderate injuries. One was kind of minor, and then the other one I was doing a blob curl, and well, let me get it over here. And I was in like a underhand position, and I
Mhm.
tore a ligament on the side of my index finger right here,
Ooh.
which was the craziest thing because I was like in mid curl, and all of a sudden you hear snap, snap, and then my just wrist and hand just gave out, and I was like, what the hell just happened there? It didn't hurt at the time.
Yeah.
It was just like really weird how all the rigidity in my hand and wrist just went away. And then about 30 seconds later, then the pain decided to come. So I was like, yeah, I think that's more than I thought it was initially. So that was like a 4 or 5 month rehab to kind of come back to being able to do a lot of stuff on that.
Be terrifying.
Did you have to have it reattached or?
No, there's just still a lump there and kind of a divot right along my index finger there. I think the scar tissue just allows it to be stable at this point. Like I kept using it, like I could still bend it. I could do it. It's just like it's painful and just felt unstable for a while.
And then it still only took 4
Yeah.
months and you were fine. That's
I mean, I was still using it every day as far as like work, and then I would try to do like light gripper stuff, some light grip stuff as to kind of build tolerance, keep that structures kind of stronger.
Hmm.
But
So you
I mean,
still,
that's the way I kind of do all injuries is I just kind of feel it out and see how
yeah,
everything goes. And sometimes you try too hard one day and then you set yourself back a little bit. But overall, I found that to be best is just keep using stuff as much as possible. And then
yep. That's what I normally do. My wife hates it, but I always say just add more weight. Anytime something hurts, just put on some more weight. If it keeps hurting, I'll
put
stop.
more weight. If it's gonna hurt it, just finish it off all
Yeah.
in one shot, right?
Might as well go for a PR so I can say I ended on a high note. But
That's right.
so are you?
Yeah, and I had done a block curl like 1,000 times before that injury. Like it wasn't something that I had never done.
Yeah.
It was something I had done all the time.
Well, that's how Holland
Like,
tore his
I
bicep.
don't even know.
Yeah, I tore my bicep when it finally actually completely tore loose. I guess I'd had a partial tear for a while, but I had finished a workout and somebody, I mean, I hadn't even been using it, but somebody had left an easy curl bar laying on the floor there, and I picked it up to set it back in the rack, and as soon as I straightened my arms out, it just popped and rolled up. Like,
So yeah, freak accident.
Yeah.
Totally.
it's crazy.
Crazy. So
Crazy.
you
It
have-
felt so weird too. Like just because the muscle had rolled up into it, and like it initially there was no pain from it. It just all of a sudden there's something extra under this piece of skin that wasn't supposed to be there. And like I don't know, it just felt so weird. It was the strangest. Yeah,
Those are all the videos that I hate watching. I just swipe on by those.
yeah. I don't like to watch them either.
Yeah, like people will post an arm break video on like Noop. I've seen too many of those in person. There's
Mhm.
no way I'm watching them on video. Like,
Yeah, another video that
I'm
I
like, I
can't.
understand like the rehab and shit that has to come from that and surgery and
Ooh.
yeah, why the hell would you post that?
Another videos that I can't stand to watch are the leg press videos when they
Oh,
hop
yeah.
in their knees.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I can't. Oh no! If I think that's what it is, I'm scrolling past
yeah,
it.
swipe.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
gone. I am not watching that.
That's why I don't even watch leg press videos. If they pop up, it's just because there's only two things that's going to happen. They're going to show some stupid PR leg press that doesn't matter, or they're going to crush themselves. And I don't really care to watch either one.
Yeah, good point.
Or partial rep. I mean, you got to
Exactly.
figure in those partial reps too.
Yeah, like I leg pressed 1,300 pounds today, and it moves like this far. It's essentially watching sumo deadlifting. Had to throw that one in there.
Yeah.
The old strongman.
Yep. So do you still actively compete, or are you just focused on growing more? Or?
Grip. I still compete in grip.
Okay.
The summer is kind of a little bit of a lull. There's actually a money tournament this weekend in Minnesota, I believe,
Mhm.
or Wisconsin. But like, it's like $1,000 the winner, and I just have no free time right now to even really train. I also golf, so like it's golf season. I'm building a new shop that just started this week, plus all of my orders. I mean, I fabricate for 3 different companies, and I'm the only person that welds. So it gets to be a little crazy. Plus, I have a 3-year-old at home.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's
Hmm.
That's enough right there.
there's a lot going on in life right
Yeah.
now. But
It's like, how did you have time to do this?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I do have a small little gym in my shop that I have like an inch dumbbell and some other stuff, just some grip stuff. And a lot of times my whole workout for the day is a couple inch dumbbell lifts, and then I just walk out and I'm done for the day. But it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I think it counts.
Right-handed, my left still is like I can lift it a few inches and then it doesn't come up anymore.
Wish I could lift the inch dumbbell.
You'll get there someday, kid.
Maybe.
It took me 5 years to lift it the first time, and it took me 3 more to lift it the second time.
Oh heck.
Wow.
So, and that was I had access to one every single day, every single gym session I trained at Jed's house.
So did you specifically
Slow
train
grind.
you started training just for the inch, or it was just kind of like a side quest you were on while doing
No,
other
I was
stuff?
doing just generalized training. So I trained grippers, pinch, vertical, like kind of the four main, and then those odds and ends, like the small, like key pinch stuff, would be like based on like if it was coming up in a contest or not. But I always generally will train gripper, um, some sort of pinch, narrow, wide. I try to vary that a little bit, and then thick bar, whether it be inch dumbbell, rolling handle, axle, and then V bar, little bighorn, anvil, just like a vertical cylinder type movement. So kind of a little bit of variety there, but
See, that's what we need. We need a big variety of this stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, if you could pick just
I know where
one,
you can buy it.
now, if you could pick just one implement to train with, what would you pick? If you just had,
I mean, I'm gonna the Napalm Nightmare is cheating because you technically have your rolling handles and your pinch handles kind of as built in.
that's
You can get your pinch. You can get from plates, some basic plates. Just put them face to face and just grip it smooth side out. So you don't really need an implement to train pinch necessarily. Um, Thick bar, if you have an axle, which for strong men you generally have an axle to do axle deadlifts, that can get a lot of your thick bar movements. The other one I would just say is some sort of vertical bar. Grippers are hit and miss. I mean, I say train grippers if you plan on closing grippers. If you don't plan on closing grippers, then there's much better things to train.
So you think they don't have any carryover,
or not as much carryover.
or just nothing that's really
They have
worth?
some. I mean, they
Yeah.
have some, but there's such a technical movement that you can get better strength gains from something like doing like barbell finger roll ups or some sort of like a guillotine style grip machine just for basic training. But if I tell people grippers are only for if you want to compete in grip and you want to close grippers. I would never recommend that. They're just each gripper is $20, $25, and then you got to buy 20 of them to have like a good spread of incremental gains to make kind of 3 to 5 pound jumps between each one. It's just like you could do an adjustable, but then
Those aren't the same.
it's hard. No, they're not the same.
Yeah, I got lucky because there was a guy selling the 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think I bought all 4 of them for $50, and that's all.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the only
very
ones
good.
I have. So like if I didn't have that deal, I was not going to buy them because of that. They're $25 a piece,
Yeah.
and they're like you can buy them by the half. So I was like, I don't even know which ones to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, I think I have a 1.5.
And each gripper has a 25 to 30 pound range of what it rates.
Mhm.
So like your Captain Crush number 3, the lowest rating I think is around 135. The highest is 162. So it could take you 3 to 4 years to make that difference of 135 to 162 to go up 30 pounds, and it's all still a number 3. So like Canon PowerWorks does gripper ratings. It's called the RJC. Originally it was called Redneck Gripper Calibration, but
That's awesome.
but they basically take a gripper and they hang a strap from the end of it and they add weight until it closes the handles. So that way you can take any company and rate it the same way and kind of get a way to have consistency across brands versus just some random number that they decide to throw on it.
Yeah, that's why I tell Clint. 'Cause Clint's wanted me to try to go close the 3 and like get it certified. But that's why I don't want to. I can close my 3, but I don't know that I can
But
close
you
it.
might have a 155 number 3, which is going to be on the heavier end of 3s, or you might have a 142. It's
Yeah,
hard to say
And I
without
have no idea.
knowing the rating.
I just know
Yeah.
I can close it, but I don't know if I can close it. That's the only one I've tried. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought it used, so I really don't know.
Yeah, like between Jed and I, like we have like 250 grippers or so.
Good Lord.
And then we also have Jed well, I think the GSI bought it, but they have a set of tedding grippers it's 5 pound increments from 75 to 220 pounds. And those are used for like contests. So they're all certified, rated in 5 pound increments so that when you have a block close gripper, you can just set out the grippers and you get to pick, and then you can send them to another location for them to use it.
That's neat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because it's hard to say, like, someone brings their gripper to a contest and they say it's rated 155 and it might actually only be 140. They might have switched the tags out on it so that they close a 155 even though it wasn't necessarily so. That's the hard part when you have people that say, oh, this gripper is rated this. Well, who's to say you didn't switch the tag out with something else that's easier?
That's true. I guess I never really thought about that. That it's not like calibrated plates or just plates in general. You could just throw on a scale. Like it's kind of a whole thing that you want to certify. This is what we say it is. That'd be a whole ordeal that I wouldn't want to deal with if I was running an event.
Yeah, I mean you're going on honesty, and that people are going to kind of have that.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, most contests, there's enough people there that generally wouldn't be an issue. But you only need, I think, 2 or 3 people technically to have a contest, and that could potentially be an issue where they're all in cahoots and they all close the same gripper that was all magically a higher number than it really was. But
that's true. Conveniently, we have 3 people here right now.
That's right. Contest right now.
Where'd it go? I have a gripper.
World record.
I can't.
Yeah, world
vote,
record.
So we couldn't be in cahoots.
Even better. That means it looks legit.
Now you
I
said,
mean, overall, there's been very, very little kind of bull crap like that's happened.
Mhm.
There was one during King Kong. There was a Russian location that was using some form of tacky on their implements.
Would be
Because all their lifts were like way higher than everyone else's by a large margin.
Oh, well, that's just
like-
obvious.
Something, yeah. And then, but they did send videos, and it took like multiple hours to finally find one of the videos that showed like that their hands were like sticking to it slightly.
Yeah, that's
Like,
also another good point. How do you prove that, or how do you
Yeah.
disprove it? And I'm like,
It was like there was like 10 people watching these videos trying to figure out like how the hell did they lift these weights? Because like the people have competed previously, so they have numbers on these implements that
Mhm.
were from the year before or 2 years ago or whatever, and then all of a sudden you go up 40-50% or 50 pounds on it in like a year or two.
Yep.
I can see that in a new athlete that just started,
Mhm.
and then maybe 2 or 3 years down the road they make huge gains. But someone that's been competing for 10 years isn't going to make a 50-pound jump on an implement.
Yeah.
No way in hell. Like on a grip implement, it's a 100-pound lift. You're not going to jump up 40 pounds.
No.
A 10% increase would be a huge jump, let alone 40% increase.
I would love a 40%. I'd love a 10% increase in anything right now.
Shit. I hear you there.
That's how we
We're
got
battling for 1 and 2%.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for arm wrestling, I would do like a 5-pound cut for a grip sport. I used to, because it used to be, they use IPF weight classes for a grip sport. So like 205, 93 kg is the, so I always used to weigh like 208, 210. Now I weigh 220. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to sit right in the middle of that 105 class and just stay right here forever and not have to lose weight, gain weight, nothing.
Yeah.
Because that's how I have been. I've always hovered around the 125 and the 125 plus. I usually come somewhere in there normally. And I was like, this is cool. I don't have to cut or bulk or anything. I just stay where I'm at.
I'm definitely 125 plus.
What do you mean?
Now you said typically your grip fails because of your thumb. What would you recommend for that? I seen you had a
Depends on the lift, but like thick bar will generally fail because your finger containment. But there are some like rim based lifts where you're using your fingers like this and like a half crimp like climber movement. But any of your friction based lifts, it's always your thumb. I say the biggest thing is there's a couple things. So if you're gonna go with like pinch, you want to vary your widths kind of throughout your training sessions so that you're changing the requirement on your thumb and the position of your thumb strength. So you may do like a 2, 3, 4 inch width pinch somewhere in those. So like we have like blobs would be more of your wide pinch, and then some of your pinch blocks will be 2 or 3 inch. Your Saxon bars 3 inch or 2 inch. Plate pinching generally ends up being around 2.25 to 2. If you're using calibrated plates, you can get a little bit narrower. But then there's a side of it of just understanding like the neuromuscular kind of activation that's required for each size. That's for any lift. Any lift is kind of that motor control, figuring out like how your hand's supposed to move, what your elbow position is. Like, are you engaging your lat? Are you doing wrist flexion? Are you doing wrist flexion with a little bit of supination? It can get really complicated, but that's like I don't feel like I'm necessarily like the strongest lifter, but I feel like I understand the technical side of lifting each implement better than 99.9% of everybody, and how to optimize texture so that every time I lift, texture is as good as it can be, so that I can be consistent on knowing whether or not it's my strength that's failing or whether it's a technical issue, or if it's just because sometimes just if there's high humidity or low humidity, like the chalking just sucks. And then you're like, well, I can't even get this, feels like trash. So there's a lot that can go into understanding kind of all your lifts. But variation is key, in my opinion, for general strength. And then you will then focus on, said principle, focus on like specific lifts for like a contest. So if it's going to be a 2-inch Saxon bar, well, the last 6 to 8 weeks of your training will then be focusing on roughly 2 to 2.25 inch pinch, to try to carry over as much as possible for that movement. But then if you don't have anything coming up, say for 3-4 months, then you can go back to doing a little bit of everything to keep that variety.
That's pretty cool.
Or do accessories. Like one thing that I found, like at the end of a workout, I can do vertical bar and I can do blobs. Why I can do those at the end of a workout even when I'm fatigued. It feels good. I don't think it affects, like if I do thick bar at the end, I generally am not as strong. Grippers have to go first. Grippers, in my opinion, are the most CNS intensive movement plus the most technical lift of all. As far as like making sure that thing's in your hand perfect, making sure you're setting it perfect and all this other stuff. But you guys probably do similar stuff with like strongman movements also, where you're doing like a frame deadlift versus a axle versus a elephant bar. They're all going to be roughly similar.
It's true, yeah.
Conventional stance, deadlift, leg drive movements, but they're all going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
I guess that's true because, I never really thought about applying similar concepts for other training to the grip training. Like, I understand variety, but I never would have thought about just like breaking it down into individual movements of grip. And so.
Yeah.
And that, like, I could go a month without touching anything, and I come back, after a couple warm-up movements, I know exactly where my hand has to go on the implement to lift it. That's just experience.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. That's doing it for 12 years.
Yeah, because I feel like anytime I go to pick up anything, I'm like, no, not there. No, not there.
Yeah.
Not there.
You're just not sure what's optimal for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like Randy told us the other day that he watched a guy pick up 4 cinder blocks at one time. And I have never been more sure that something's not possible. Because I tried it. And like, I think if I cut off my middle finger, I think I might be able to get it. Because there's just too many fingers. Because, yeah, he said they were like, 4 in a square, and this guy just picked them up. There's no way.
Oh, what do you think?
Yeah, there's got to be one where your pinky and second to last finger are supporting all the weight of it, and I'm like, I don't know if those 2 fingers are strong enough to do that.
I can tell you I tried, and they're not. Or at least mine aren't. I tried every which way to figure that out, and I couldn't.
Alan's over here doing the claw.
Yeah, Alan was doing the...
Yeah, my brain's visualizing like how I would put my hands on that to make it work.
That was the one I tried and got nowhere.
These 3 fingers, over here. These 3 fingers, what I feel like would do enough that they could potentially lift 3, but these 2 ain't probably ain't got enough
That
to
was
lift that forward.
that was pretty much what happened. I was like, okay, these 3 feel fine, but like I don't know what to do with these other ones. It's like they're my left hand of my right hand.
Yeah.
So I mean, think about it.
It's a good way to.
I don't do anything with my pinky.
Except hold it out when you drink.
I do that. To do that with the heavy mug.
Yeah.
I think some of my arm wrestling training, although did help carry over to grip. Initially going into arm wrestling, like a lot of the amateurs, I definitely had a huge advantage in hand and wrist strength. But the arm wrestling, when you're working in hand containment, these last 2 fingers when you're trying to dive in for a hook are the ones that are actually containing someone's wrist. You're trying to like stop them from being able to rotate out of you. And I think that has actually helped my pinch strength, because I mean, yeah, you feel those first 2 fingers do a lot of the work, but the ability of those last 2 to kind of add a little bit extra onto your lift, I think made a big difference for me when I was training that. And then it like didn't click until after I started doing arm wrestling that how much that applies to some of your grip lifts.
Yeah, because that does explain. I've seen a lot of guys that primarily do arm wrestling do train grip a lot on the side. Well, like I've been seeing this one come up a lot. People doing the kettlebell roll. I'm not really sure what that does, but I've been seeing it a lot.
I mean, yeah, it works your radial deviation, which if you're arm wrestling, you're trying to post and go up high, it'll work that movement. But that would be one of the last movements I would use to train that. I can tell you that.
I think it's just one that people have been doing a lot just because it's like, look how heavy of a kettlebell I can move.
Just to get clicks. I mean, that's all it is. It's clicks on social media because it looks like it's cool.
Yeah, and it did not work for us. Because I did it thinking I would get some views, and
We
I
didn't
did not
get any clicks.
No. Dude,
Well, it's weird how some, like Jed and I talk about this. You do a grip feat that like, it's like top end or no one's ever done it. You get like 100 views, and then someone does some stupid ass lift that's weak as shit, and they get 5 million views on it. I'm like, it's just a matter of like finding the right crowd to go viral.
Yeah. I think it might have been Jed that I seen do it the other day on Instagram that lifted the 2-inch dumbbells. One was a 180 and then one was a 172. Was that him? I saw I saw it the other day and I was like, whoa, that's freaking insane.
Yeah.
Because I picked up a 180-inch dumbbell and it's not light. And just casually picking up 2 of them.
No, and like
they just
like some like pinching 2 25-kilo plates. Like, I don't know. I've done it with 15 pounds added, and I get like 150 views on it. I'm like, it's a 125-pound plate pinch, which is, I don't know of anybody that's done more weight than that on a plate pinch. But whatever, people don't care. They just think they just see it, and it's like whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe people just get tired of seeing like the same people do the same like high level grip feats, and they just don't care anymore. Like, I mean, maybe that's just.
Yeah. I think it also depends on the flashiness. Like there's that one guy he pops up on my TikTok and I forget his name. I don't know why I forget his name, but like he does a lot of like, he was carrying a 45-pound plate to the gym and then like flipped it and caught it on the hub and then put it on.
Joel Dirks.
Yeah. Like, dude, that's nuts. Like,
yeah.
Now I've got to try it. I know I'm not gonna be able to do it, but
yeah, like you said, it's flashy, so it's gonna look cool.
Yep. And I think that's just what it's about. It doesn't matter how heavy the lift is. It just matters what it looks like. Because I did one the other day that I seen a video of this guy was at some convention somewhere and I thought it was heavier than it was until I actually looked at the weights. I think it was a 25 or a 15 kilo plate turned perpendicular on top of I think it was a 25 kilo plate. And then and they were ratchet strapped together and he pinch gripped it up. I was like, okay, that must be heavy because it's getting a lot of clicks. And then I tried it and I was like, this isn't even heavy.
Yeah.
But it did get a lot of clicks though.
Yeah. was gonna say that video did pretty well.
Yeah, that one did really well. And so then I did it again, but I did it with 2 25-kilo plates, and that video flopped. I was like, it's the same thing,
But it's heavier.
but it's heavier. And no one liked it.
Yeah. You didn't show enough butthole, I guess.
I guess not.
That's what you need to do.
I've really been trying to figure out what the problem is, and I think that's it.
I think you've hit it.
I'm going to start every video with the camera like right up here.
Yeah. It's amazing what gets clicks and what doesn't, but that's social media for
Yep.
you in the modern world.
Yep.
I have one of
I
the.
don't even have TikTok. I just I can't even keep up on Facebook and Instagram, and I have a business one of each and a personal one of each, and
Yep.
a business to email and personal email and texting. I'm like, there's times where people send me a message, and I'm like, I know they sent me a message, but I don't know where the hell they sent it to me. I'm like, I need to go screenshot these messages to make sure. I figure if it's important enough, someone will just hit me up again, and then I'll figure it out. But
True. There's so much going on over there. And my
Yeah, and
For You
like
page is crazy.
marketing for me is like I just repost a lot of stuff just because I barely get time to go train at the gym myself. So if I don't even have time to train for myself, I'm not gonna go take time to make videos. I mean,
Fair
that's
enough.
it's plus I'm busy enough to where I'm like I can barely keep up. So it's like I don't necessarily want to push more business.
You're like, I need
I'm kind of in that
10,000
stage.
more orders.
I'm in that stage where I kind of need to hire someone else, but I'm like building a shop and I'm like it's just bad timing to kind of hire someone else to have to train them and do all that stuff. But
Alan, you need a. You don't even have to train Alan.
Like,
He
just
knows, he
love-
welds left-handed and everything.
just like packaging. But when you have 200 plus items, plus you make custom stuff, like you have to know what everything is. You got to know like the different size variants. So like in order to put a package together for most things, you just have to know what they're called.
Oh, Alan is really good with size variants. Don't ask him how.
Because I spend probably 10 hours a week packaging, just
Good
putting
Lord.
stuff in boxes.
That would be the least fun part.
I mean, the only thing I do is I put on like a TV show and put it on my tripod and I watch it while I package it. Like, I mean, Iron Podium Podcast is what I watch. I mean, that's what I meant to say. I misspoke there.
So making custom equipment, have you made any crazy custom equipment? Or is it usually pretty standard?
I've made a few. I've made a few where I had to sign NDAs and send out like prototypes.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
I made it. It was this is probably 5 years ago. I made it was a frame, like a deadlift frame that you would convert into a farmer's, but it would also convert into a wheelbarrow.
Ooh.
So it had a set of handles, and then on the front you would take your 45-pound bumper plate, and that would be your wheel.
That's
So
pretty cool.
that was a one-off item that I probably won't ever make ever again, and I don't know if I want to make ever again
That's pretty cool.
because
though.
it was a pain in the ass, and I think I undercharged for what I ended up having to do. Well, it's just the R&D trying to figure out angles and positions of everything was just a pain. But
Yeah.
at the time, I was like, it was only a hobby. It wasn't a
Yeah.
full-time job where my time wasn't really as valuable as it is now. But I mean, I've done strict curl platforms. I made almost 2,000 arm wrestling tables. I mean, football bar variants, cambered bar variants. I don't even know. There's so much stuff I forgot or never took pictures of. I'm like, shit, I already packaged it. I wanted to take a picture of that. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, just send it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Too late now.
If it's cool enough, they'll send me a picture of
unpackaged
it.
it at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting time. I ain't wasting 10 more minutes unpackaging it and repackaging it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I make mistakes. I forget to add something, or the order will say ×2 and I'll only put 1 in there. And I'm like, if people are like, they'll get mad about it. I'm like, you think I want to have to pay for shipping again? Like, you think I want to have to waste money out of my pocket to send you another piece of equipment? Like, no.
Actually, I love doing this.
But
I was hoping
I'm-
you wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that I would just have to spend $12 more to send you one item that I forgot to put in the box. The worst is when I send shit internationally and I forget something because that's like at minimum
Ooh.
$40.
Golly.
I had an arm wrestling table frame get bent on the way to, I think it was Germany, and the shipping alone to replace that frame was $215.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and I had to eat all of it because UPS wouldn't cover it.
Man.
It just sucks.
That's insane. Don't use
you
UPS.
just Well, no, they have like weird guidelines and rules that if you don't follow them exactly, they can just say, well, we're not covering it. Like there has to be 2 inches of padding around every aspect of your package in order to cover it under insurance. And so just package the shit out of it anytime I send it to international. So that way, if something happens, the chances are way lower.
Be like, man, why this guy package this like this?
I think that's what everybody thinks on eBay too. Every time I get something from eBay.
Plastic wrap
Yeah.
is my best friend.
Now the octopus.
I mean, a lot of it's been pretty random, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Now the octopus on your logo is there a significance to that, other than just being cool looking, or is there a reason for the octopus? Or
So when I started, I obviously didn't have a business. It was just me making some random shit and selling it to friends. But so we had our arm wrestling team was called PA Arm Assassins. So I was like, I talked to my buddies that kind of were head of that team. I was like, hey, do you mind if I just use the name to the Arm Assassins, and I'll just call my business Arm Assassin Strength Shop, because I wanted to create an LLC mainly for liability reasons. Because I didn't need people suing me personally and taking my house and whatever else that was involved. But then, so I had a name before I had a logo. And then it was just a matter of kind of a play on words. Do you either play on words on the arm word or play on words on the assassin word? And I just came up with the octopus to kind of play on the arm name.
that's pretty
So
cool.
it was just kind of a random, wasn't planned, just kind of thinking and be like, oh, well, that makes sense.
It
Worked
is a
it-
cool logo.
worked
Found it
out,
pretty
so-
basic.
It is a cool logo though.
Yeah, I found the basic logo, and like I had to add the lettering myself manually on like an app on my phone to create the first logo. It took me like 2 hours just to figure out how to like bend everything and then do like 2 letters and then bend it one way, then have to add more letters and then bend it and move it. And it's just like I'm doing it on a phone with my finger and not with a damn mouse. So your fat finger and trying to
Oh, yeah.
move these letters and like.
Yep.
But yeah, that was kind of how it
I feel your pain
how it
on
was
that.
created.
Our first YouTube, like full podcast episode YouTube video was fully edited on my phone. And I hated every second of it.
How bad?
I'm glad we got a better editor
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
I like to say that like the octopus, it actually only has 6 legs. The other 2 are coming out of the sleeves.
Oh yeah.
So here's the other 2. That's what I like to tell people.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I do like that.
That way you know when you wear your shirt.
That was like 5 years later after that it was created. Someone randomly asked me, "Why does it only have 6 legs?" I'm like, I don't know. It's a 2-dimensional image, not a 3-dimensional image.
Yeah.
So you just pulled out your dad joke and were like, because the other
Yeah,
2 are right
that's right.
here. I like it. That's awesome.
Well, I can say there's a lot of people that'll message me and be like, think I'm like a big company or with like a team, and I'm like, yeah, there's an M and an E in team because literally it's just me that you're talking to, and I'm the only one making shit. Like, and you bought it yesterday, and no, I don't have your tracking because I haven't even looked at your order because I haven't made it yet. Like, everything's made to order. I mean, people think it's crazy that my turnaround time on orders is 5 to 7 business days
That's
on
pretty
every
impressive.
order.
That is very impressive.
Other than arm wrestling tables, I do it as 1 month just because I can kind of fit them in amongst everything else. It's just easier to do that. But so yeah, they're like, some people are just like, I'm not freaking Amazon, bro.
You mean I can't have this
I
next
don't have
day?
stuff just sitting here. I don't have your stuff just sitting here ready in a giant warehouse.
I will
shows
say,
up on your porch before you finish the
Yeah.
checkout button.
yeah, Amazon has gotten me pretty spooled now because especially now we get like same day delivery on some stuff. So I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing is people are so used to that, or
Yeah,
like these bigger companies, Titan, Rogue, where they offer free shipping. I'm like, I don't make anything on shipping. I charge you roughly what I pay for shipping plus maybe like $1 or two
Yeah.
to pay for like boxes and materials and
Yep.
packaging.
that's
Like,
fair.
That's it.
More than fair.
Yeah.
It's more than reasonable. Like,
Yep.
there's no handling charge. It's all just like covers my cost.
That's more than fair. I mean,
Yeah, and and the turnaround time being that short. Because I was thinking, so I do some blacksmithing here and there, and I'll get an order, and they'll be like, "Yeah, so how long is that going to take?" I'm like, couple months, like,
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
yeah, especially if it's
7
made-
days.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your primary. It might not be your primary job. So if it's just
Yeah.
a hobby, you're just gonna fit it in where you can. You have a life too.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's like I'm into long range shooting, like PRS type stuff. You order a barrel, it might be 3 months
Oh yeah.
just to get your barrel in, depending on what contour and all this other stuff. And it's like you better order shit ahead of time because you're not gonna get it right away. And then they gotta chamber it and do all the lathe work and all that stuff.
Yeah, especially if all your stuff is made to order. That's still very impressive that it's 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. So do you keep anything
It
like
gets
in
a little
stock
crazy.
or everything, just 100% everything
No.
is made? Wow.
I mean, some of the like merchandise, like shirts and hats.
Oh, yeah.
Like I obviously don't make those, but yeah, everything else is just made. I mean, if I have something left over from say like home gym con, I might have one or two of something left over,
Mhm.
and obviously I don't have to make those. But I only go to like 2 or 3 like places to sell now a year, so I don't really have a lot
Hmm.
as far as like leftover stuff to make or to sell. I just don't have time to make inventory. I mean, it took me 7 or 8 days before Home Gym Con to make all the stuff for Home Gym Con. So like I had to turn my website off so that no one could order anything just for me to be able to make equipment to sell at Home Gym Con.
I do have a question. So the blobs that you had at Home Gym Con, what weights were they? Because we've been debating this.
I think the lighter one was a half a 70 or no, it was 80. It was an 80. So they were both Fat Mans. So
Okay. So if
I don't know if you know the difference of the blob variants.
no.
So there was like 3 generations of the original York blobs. There was the Fat Man was the original. The edges are actually slightly more rounded. They're usually a little bit heavy. And then there's a blue blob, and then the next gen is kind of the last generation. But so I had a half 100 and a half of an 80 there.
Okay. So, it
So
was
I had a Fat Man 100. Yeah.
okay. See, because that's what we were trying to talk about was I think I lifted the 80 or the half of the four. So what is it? If it's half an 80, it's 40 pounds.
Roughly, yeah. I think it's like 41.2 or something
Okay.
like that. It's actually heavy.
Because that's what we were talking about. It's like I think you had told us that it was half an 80, but we were for some reason thinking it was just 80. I was like, I lifted an 80-pound blob. That does not sound right for me.
Yeah, half of an 80. But
Okay.
as you get heavier, it also gets wider, so that's what
Mhm.
makes it more challenging. And then now they have like Nathan Hall out of the UK makes blobs, so he has like a 24 kilo, which is roughly the 50, and then he's got a 30 kilo, 35 kilo, which those two are enormous and large. And then you have the York Legacy dumbbells, which they're flat on one side and very rounded on the other, which they have from 100 to 150. So
Good night.
you have blobs that you could go anywhere from. I mean, basically nothing to. The biggest is the 35 kilo haul right now, so that's 77 pounds.
That's insane.
I mean, the half of 150 is roughly the same, but the flat on one side makes a big difference.
Hmm. I don't really want to try those. I hate blobs. I've not really had a grip implement that I've legitimately hated, but I hate blobs. I just
It's a
don't-
love or hate. I mean, there's definitely technique involved as far as like a little bit of wrist engagement, hand placement. But again, it's a thumb. I mean, it's 4 fingers versus one thumb, so your thumb is the weak point on those by far.
And it is.
You got weird thumbs.
I got
anyways.
weird thumbs, man. I don't think we often talk about grip, but never with.
Somebody knows what they're
Yeah,
talking about.
it's always just like kind of like us. We just mess around with grip implements and think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you break stuff down like every implement, there's such, I mean, every lift, every movement that in strength, everything you do, there's always technique
Mhm.
involved. And like there was only one person that lifted that blob at the home gym con, other than Zach and I.
I believe
One.
that.
There was like 10 or 11 people that lifted the inch.
Mhm.
So it's just you can have someone with a really big hand that the inch dumbbell just comes right up, and then they can't even budge that 100-pound blob.
Now, the blob, I
It's
had
like-
it up about 8 inches, and it came out of my hand first thing that morning.
Yeah,
And
about
then-
8 inches.
And then I couldn't touch it after
Yeah. That's right, 8 inches.
Yep.
that. I mean, it was coming up pretty good, and it just come out, and then I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
and
couldn't, even,
it,
I couldn't even get it to break
if
the
it's-
floor after that. So.
one of those things that like you could go a month lifting it 4 to 8 inches off the ground before you get your first actual full lift.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's a frustrating. You're like, oh, it feels so good, and then all of a sudden the shit just rolls out of your hand and hits the floor.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
how,
think it's gonna happen.
that's how I felt that day because I'd lifted the inch at your spot. And I was like, oh, okay, the inch is feeling fantastic today because I was going to go lift the inch at Clint's, but his is a makeshift loadable one. It's not even
Plate loadable. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like I think he made it from parts at Tractor Supply, so it's not like a legitimate plate loadable one. It's just like a handle that someone milled that slides over a bar. Like, and I hate that thing every time I lift with it, but it's the only one he has. Well, that
Yeah.
and one of our friends has the Iron Mind plate loadable one, but he said that they made it slightly off center so it rolls into your hand instead of out of it. He's like, I'll bring it. I was like, I don't want to use that. That just sounds like cheating. It kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, you almost need something that's like custom machined that has like the same globe profile as
Mhm.
the inside of like an inch dumbbell, and then you can load it. But then you also have to be able to anchor the plates down tight enough that the plates can't
Yeah.
move. So it gives it that same rotational feel of a solid globe dumbbell. Because everybody's they think like, oh, it's only 170 pounds. Like a regular dumbbell, pretty much anybody can lift 100. I mean, it's still
Mhm.
gonna be heavy
Yeah.
as far as finger, but as soon as you make that handle fat, that makes it all the difference.
Yep.
Well, everybody I've talked to that doesn't deal with strength stuff, they have no. I mean,
They're not that impressed with it.
no,
They're like,
it's
"This is-
that's not that heavy.
That's
It's
170
like, you
pounds."
don't
No,
understand-
not
you
at
don't
all.
understand how hard that is to grip.
yeah.
Yep. Well, one of our other friends, he did a video talking about grip strength, but he did it just on a regular dumbbell handle, and it was plate loadable, and just to see where his grip failed. And I think he failed at like 2 something. I was like, well, now I want to try it. And I think I
Mm.
picked up 250, but I was like, this is much easier than picking up the inch dumbbell, like by far.
Much easier.
I also think the name is what throws people off. Calling it the inch dumbbell, I think that's what most people are
They
like.
call it the 1 inch dumbbell. I'm like, no, the guy's name was Thomas Inch.
Yep.
So that's the only reason it's called the inch
Yep.
dumbbell, not the 1 inch.
Yeah.
So I try to like, I don't want to come off as a dick and be like, well, you're wrong, but I just try to be like, come off as like explaining
Yep.
the reason it's called the inch dumbbell is because it's named after somebody. His
Yeah.
last name was Inch.
Yeah, no one likes to be the well actually guy, but
Well,
yeah.
actually.
But in that case, I feel like it's warranted because it's definitely selling the wrong image.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you pick it up
Yeah.
then.
I know. We've talked about it for a while. Like we want to go and take like an inch dumbbell or a stone or anything, just like a public place, and just be like the random gin pop out here, and be like, hey, pick this up. just
Like at
for
the
fun.
mall, just stop people and be like, hey, would you like to try to pick this up?
It's like those people.
Yeah, like Labor Day weekend is the New York State Fair, and they have an arm wrestling tournament there, and I'll generally sell stuff, but I'll take like similar to what I brought to like Home Gym Con, a blob, and just so people can try it. Like, just try to lift it,
Yep.
see what you can do. when you get these big strong guys that come up and they look like they might have a chance, and they can't even budget off the ground at all, and it's like exactly.
So do you usually chalk directly to the implement, or you just chalk your hands and then it kind of transfers?
Both. So
Okay.
I generally focus on chalking the implement, and then having a very small base of chalk on my hand. I'll like take my hands and try to remove any of the excess chalk, so that that's off, because that can almost add, like, it almost feels like it's adding less friction by having too much. So I'll take my hands, rub it on the implement, get the chalk where I need it to be, kind of rub off the excess, and then I'll kind of clap my hands, rub my hands, and get all the excess off my hands, and then go from there.
Yeah, because like coming from Highland games, like you tacky your hands, and if you get caught tackying the implement, you don't want to be caught doing that. So it's just kind of carried over that I almost never purposely chalk any implement ever. No reason behind it other than that.
Yeah, the implement is by far the more higher priority.
And that makes sense. But thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. Alan, anybody have any more questions?
Good.
All right. Well, I've got a quote to close us out. I think it's less that the body is tired and more that the mind is. Mental toughness is reliable and arguably necessary. Ode Hagen.
High Spirit Viking.
Fits in my